Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to another fabulous week of English 235. This week we're going to be working on moving toward our recommendation reports, which are, of course, the big project for the entire quarter. Most of the work you've done up until now is scaffolding, so it's building the foundation to be able to execute the recommendation report successfully. So if we take a look at our week, this week we're going to be reading from Markle's excellent text in Chapter 13, Writing Recommendation Reports. And then we're going to be working on gathering information for those reports. So you're also going to read Markle's text on interviews. And your homework for this week is to work on your interview informant profile. Now, this does not mean you have to conduct the interview yet. I just want to know who you're planning on interviewing. So if we take a look at our assignment here on the interview informant profile, this is worth 40 points, so it's worth spending a little bit of time on. You are going to be telling me about your interview candidate, the person that you want to talk to. And I would highly recommend, because of the time we're in and pandemics and COVID and fun stuff like that, that you conduct these interviews virtually. So either through Zoom or over the phone, email if you have to, just so we all stay safe and still get the information we need. So take a look. The first thing I'm looking for is you telling me about the person you're going to interview. So I need the name and their position, company or organization they're working within, the informant's skills and experience that make them a credible source for your recommendation report, and let me know when you're planning on doing your interview. It is good to get this scheduled now so that you don't have any unpleasant surprises right before the recommendation report's due and you find you don't have an interview. That would be sad. So we want to make sure we get that out of the way as soon as we can. Also, please include the 5 interview questions you plan on asking your informant. These should be well-crafted questions, and we want to avoid yes and no questions. We want open-ended questions that elicit more information from our informant, because we are going to need to include quotes from this person in our recommendation report. So make sure you're taking notes as you're doing your interviews later on down the road. You can ask permission to record the interview if you're not a fast note taker, or you can just jot down what the person said, because you will need to include some of these quotes in your final recommendation report. So come up with 5 really good interview questions, and then plan out your interview process. How are you going to get this interview done? I would highly recommend doing it virtually. Through Zoom or over the phone would be ideal. Email as a last resort, just because it's harder to get that back and forth exchange of information in real time from email. But if that's the only thing that works, then that's what's going to have to work. We want to make sure that we're professional in our interview, that you have your questions prepared, and that you have follow-up questions as needed. And then we want to make sure that we are including this information in our recommendation report. So take notes, have the recording done with the interview, or transcribe it by hand, but you're going to need this information later on. And that's what we're working on this week, working on getting our interviews scheduled, coming up with good questions, and working toward that all-important recommendation report at the end of the quarter. If you guys have questions, let me know. Otherwise, stay warm and safe out there in all this snow, and I'll talk to you all soon.